Some photographs capture our most cherished memories. A birthday, a wedding, a quiet family moment. But other photos are not memories. They are nightmares. They are grainy, faded windows into a moment of pure terror, a mystery that raises far more questions than it answers. It depicts a young woman and a young boy, bound and gagged in the dark, cramped back of a van. For decades, this haunting image has been the center of a desperate search, a symbol of a family's unending grief, and the final, terrifying clue in the disappearance of a missing girl. This is the story of the most chilling photograph in the history of true crime. It is a single discarded Polaroid found by chance in a convenience store parking lot. This is the story of Tara Calico and the mystery of the final Polaroid. It showed a young woman with dark hair and a young boy, both lying on what appeared to be bedsheets in the back of a vehicle, likely a van or a camper. The story was broadcast on national news programs like A Current Affair. When the image aired, friends of the Calico family saw it and were struck by a chilling resemblance. The young woman in the photo looked exactly like the missing cyclist, Tara Calico. If this was Tara, who was the young boy with her? And who took the picture? Was it a taunt from the killer? A deliberate act to show his victims were still alive? This theory, however, led to a tragic dead end. He is a ghost, a second victim whose story has never been told. The photo itself offered few clues. Over the years, other strange photos have surfaced, but none have been definitively linked to the case. The original Polaroid remains the only tangible, haunting piece of the puzzle. The specific type of Polaroid film used was not available for purchase until 1989, meaning the photo had to have been taken at least 9 months after Tara's disappearance. A local man who is known to have stalked women in the area. Is it truly a picture of Tara Calico? A final, horrifying glimpse into her captivity. It is a portrait of an unknown horror, a moment frozen in time that captures the fear in a young woman's eyes and leaves the rest of us to wonder what happened in the moments after the flash faded. Or is it a cruel, unrelated coincidence? A different tragedy that became entangled with her story? We may never know for sure. A convicted sex offender who lived along the bike route. But no evidence ever connected them to the crime. In 2008, the Valencia County Sheriff announced he had received new information. In 1990, Michael Henley's remains were found in the Zuni Mountains, just 7 miles from where he had disappeared. He had died of exposure. He was not the boy in the Polaroid. Or was it an accident? A photo dropped in a parking lot that was never meant to be found. And then, with the help of their parents, buried her body. He claimed he knew the names of those involved, but could not make an arrest without a body. No remains have ever been found to corroborate this theory. They were both bound with black restraints, their mouths covered with black duct tape. The image was horrifying. The book lying next to her in the photo was My Sweet Audrina by V.C. Andrews, one of Tara's favorite authors. Their conclusion was cautious. They believed the girl in the photo was likely Tara, but they could not be 100% certain. Scotland Yard, however, conducted its own analysis and came to a more definitive conclusion. But they never gave up hope. They kept Tara's room exactly as she had left it, a heartbreaking monument to a life interrupted. They were convinced it was her. The photograph became the single most important and most terrifying piece of evidence in the case. Patty Dole, Tara's mother, was certain. She was looking at a photograph of her daughter, taken long after she had disappeared. Our story begins on September 20th, 1988, in Belen, New Mexico. Tara Calico, a bright and athletic 19-year-old college student, set out for her daily bike ride. She was a creature of habit. She would ride the same 36-mile loop along Highway 47 every morning, often with her mother, Patty. But on this day, she rode alone. She told her mother to come and get her if she wasn't back by noon, in case she got a flat tire. But when noon came and went with no sign of Tara, Patty went looking for her. For years, the boy's identity was a complete mystery. His image was circulated, but no family came forward to claim him. Eventually, investigators began to suspect he might be Michael Henley, a 9-year-old boy who had disappeared in New Mexico in 1988, not far from where Tara had vanished. She drove the bike route again and again. There was no sign of her daughter. Then, on June 15, 1989, over 1,500 miles away in Port St. Joe, Florida, a woman pulled into the parking lot of a junior food store. On the ground, lying in an empty parking space, she found a single, unmarked Polaroid photograph. She found only fragments of Tara, Sony Walkman, and a cassette tape scattered on the side of the road. The police were called, and an investigation began. Witnesses reported seeing a light-colored, older model pickup truck with a camper shell following Tara closely on her ride. But the lead went nowhere. There were no signs of a struggle, no ransom demand, no clear motive. Tara Calico had simply vanished. The case quickly went cold, leaving her family in a state of agonizing uncertainty. For nearly a year, there was nothing. No new leads, no new evidence, just silence. She didn't think much of it until she saw the image. It was dark and claustrophobic. The woman immediately turned the photo over to the police. There was a faint scar on her leg that matched an injury Tara had sustained in a car accident. The FBI was brought in to analyze the photos. It opened up a host of horrifying questions. The investigation now had two targets: finding Tara and identifying the boy. The resemblance was strong, and for years it was widely believed that the photo depicted both Tara and Michael. To this day, the identity of the young boy remains completely unknown. This confirmed her family's belief that she had been alive for a significant period of time after her abduction. The police investigated numerous suspects. He claimed to know what had happened to Tara. He said to local teenagers had accidentally hit her with their truck. Panicked, Tara's parents, Patty and John, passed away without ever knowing what happened to their daughter. The Polaroid photograph is all that remains. It is a terrible, ambiguous artifact. The photo is a chilling reminder that sometimes the answers we find are more terrifying than the questions themselves.